Right. We are live. Excellency. Well, guys, we've had everything go on in the past half an hour. We've had paranormal activity. We've had all kinds of different things that were unexplained, explained, what's going on, fingers pointing, it's your fault, no, it's not my fault. We've had it all. We've had stress levels, and we're now at a nice even calm where we've managed to get all the guests in place and the sound working at the same time. So that you've got to, honestly, I love modern technology. So hi guys, Red Pill Phil here with two very special guests from the A-Team. First we've got the one and only Tony Bugle. Hi Tony.
I'll give you a little magic wave, shall I?
Magic wave, that's what we want. Magic 18 waves. And also a very special guest and somewhat of a hangouts virgin, to say the least. But honestly, we got there in the end. We got there in the end. And if you could hear the conversations that was leading up to this stream, I swear to God, it would have been gold. But hi to Jason anyway, which is the other half of the Bugle duo.
Hi, Red Pill Phil. Hi, Tony Bugle. Yes, Virgin no more. Yes.
Oh, good,
No,
to, good to finally get you both on. Right, I don't know whether you're a little bit quiet there, Jason. I don't know whether you can improve it somewhat. I don't know what.
Do you want me to come forward, Phil?
That's a bit better, mate. That's perfect. Perfect. Right. Just bear with me, guys, while I just try and do two things at once. I'm not the best.
I'm trying to get your video up.
A bit better, mate. That's it.
So that I can turn the sound off.
Yeah, right. Hold on.
And then I can at least ignore any comments.
Yeah, because I haven't got any comments at the moment, guys. I'll tell you that. I don't know what it is when I use this computer.
Yeah, yeah. I can see a few. You've got a hi, guys.
Oh,
With the film YouTube, it happens for a reason, they know. Hi, Phil and gang. I'm going to say hi to Rose, because I know Rose is on there.
Brilliant, brilliant. I just sent a link to Rose, so she must have got a notification, which probably, let's start it like this.
Well, she's good with notifications as Jason was in.
Well, I mean, this is the whole actual show, really, isn't it? I mean, it starts with how many people do we know that it's a common occurrence now that never get notifications. I don't get notifications for all my subscriptions that I get. And the amount of times I get in the comment section where people say, I didn't get a notification for this, but if it's a live stream, they end up joining it halfway through because there's no notifications. Now, that's just one of the many tricks that YouTube play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why we're on here tonight, guys, is because for me, was one of the most powerful videos that has been produced through this side of the movement that I've seen per se. You know, in the entirety that I've joined it. I'm going to be honest with you. Just because of the message and the positivity that was underlined through it, it wasn't about any kind of hatred or taking any sides. This was a video about showing extremities from all sides. So from this point, I'm going to hand it over to a lady, Tony Bugle, who played heavily in the consultation of the video. So from that angle, I'm going to pass it over to you, Tony, and you tell me what you thought of that video, the conception of it, and what the idea was all about, please.
Yeah, I get the blame for everything. Everything. Blame the Bugle. Don't blame it on the boogie. Blame it on the Bugle. Well, what it started off with, the fact that I had noticed we had all noticed the rise of the appearance of National Front at certain marches. And then we'd seen what had happened in Oldham with the Muslim Defence League. And I was talking to Jason and yourself, and I said, this takes me back. Do you know what I mean? I mean, how far back do we go with this? I mean, we've seen this once before, where if this pattern continues, that's what I could see in my head. If this pattern continues, we are right back where we were at the times of burning books and fighting the Nazis. Only the difference is we're not fighting Nazi Germany, we're fighting Nazis on our own streets. And if you've got the Muslim Defence League on one side, National Front on the other, who want a right ethno state, which is what I've seen many of them talking about, what having a white F. In fact, I had a guy message me after the video Amplifier calling you Black Pill Phil. And comments like that, and I'm sitting there thinking, before long, what we're going to see is it's not going to be England and other countries fighting Nazi Germany. It's going to be Muslim Defence League fighting National Front. So it will literally be a race war. It's going to be blacks beating up whites, whites beating up blacks. I spoke to Jason on the phone and I said to him, right, I've got an idea for a video. Jason then contacted you, gave you some homework. You gave him about 30 pages.
What he asked for, put it that way, Tona.
Poor old Jason was left with the job of having to siphon this all down into one compact video. And neither of us knew how he was going to do it, if we're really honest. But what he actually put together, showing the rise right from the beginning, right from the Ottoman, right down to the Ottoman Empire and everything else, all the way through to the First World War, Second World War, and where that ended up, and all the way through showing the rise of the National Front during the 70s, the sort of thing you would have grown up with. And then obviously the video being put together, that was all down to the genius we see sitting there that looks like the typical skinhead on my hand, but it's far from it. He doesn't wear braces, he's got no Dick Top Martens or anything like that. I can vouch for this.
Well, at this point now, let's get Jason's point of view. Jason, when you were having this discussion with Tony, knowing your background, what did it mean to you? What did it signify to you, the current climate, and what did you want to achieve for this video?
In truth, it wasn't a video that I ever thought that I would come to fruition. In all my years of being in this world, outward and inward.
I don't know. Sorry, guys. Is there a problem with the
sound? It's really bad, Jason.
Should I get closer?
Yeah, I think it's a distance thing. There's like it seems a bit of white noise in the background as well. I don't know. That's not normal.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah, you sound a bit better there, mate. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I would say it's in the 8 years that I've been involved in this region, so to speak. I've seen a lot of changes, and never the change that I've ever seen coming to fruition with people like the National Front. I was born in 1972. I was born in the 70s. I saw the soldiers of the world. Blackers go home. Negroes go home. Swastikas. I saw that in the 70s. I grew up with that. I grew up in schools where, yes, the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis, the Afro-Caribbeans were minorities. But that wasn't warranted. It wasn't warranted whether I grew up or how I was brought up. But the amount of disdain, the amount of hurt I felt seeing the National Front come to fruition in 2018. It really, it done it for. To put it plainly, this is the 21st century. This isn't 1814 or 1820. We have all the British Isles can consolidate and live together predominantly peacefully.
It seems uncanny, Jason and Tony, that for me, I've not been in this movement long, probably 2 years, 2.5 years. This sentiment was not there at that beginning. Now, not to say that it wasn't underlined. Maybe it's always been there. Maybe it's never left from the 70s. Maybe ideals are still there. What do you think it is that's made it grow to this level where at least we're trying to look at the extremities on all sides? What do you think's brought all that together?
Well, are you asking me?
Yo, I guess Tony and then Jason.
Well, because the first thing I would say is, obviously, Jason sound being bad. I could see people going, "No, I can't hear a word he's saying." But I do also want to point out he does have a very dodgy accent, which makes it really difficult to understand what he's saying anyway.
Yeah, there's slaps. Hey, Jason, you know what's going to happen tonight, mate? You're going to get bugle slaps up and down. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
And you can't
I like
no one can hear him. That is well out of order, Tony.
I'm going to jump in on a domestic. Leave that to me. But the thing that I found the most fascinating is when we made that video, when we put that video together, and Jason and I was on the phone almost every single night to get it right, was the point of saying that we are a diverse country, and I've always said this, multiculturalism is completely failed in every conceivable way. But a multicolored country has never failed. We've made that. We found way. Yes, in the beginning, people were fearful of people that looked different, but there was never the ugliness that we see now. And there are signs of that from the 1970s raising its ugly head again, and not just with the National Guard, but with the Muslim Defence League too, who think that it's perfectly all right to launch bombs and missiles over the heads of children. So when we were trying to put that whole video together, and we were trying to get the image right, both of you did your research. I did mine as much as I could. I dug into names and people that Jason could look up that I knew were extremists from within the Muslim community. But I equally have done my homework on those who were Muslim who are not extreme. And nobody ever wants to look at those. Those aren't the right type of Muslims for either side. You see what I mean? So you've got this group of decent Muslim people, but they don't fit in anywhere. They don't fit in with the so-called far right. They don't fit in with the so-called far left. Far left act like they're masters to them and that they own them and they could be outraged on their behalf. Those on the hard left, on the hard right, they want to act like every time a Muslim opens their mouth, it's taqiyya, 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 taqiyya. I'm so sick of the word taqiyya. I can't tell you how much that word does my fucking head.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you do bring up an excellent point that it's a conformity bias within whatever information you've been built up on. And I felt it. I felt the point where you do feel within this side now, you can't even allude to talking to a Muslim. You can't adhere to whatever maybe a Muslim would want to say, because at that point you've got such a stark difference between the two camps where there's nowhere for common ground between that, and particularly now with what's coming out with the anti-Jew hating, all over the place. There's just nowhere for common ground anymore. There's no platform. Each platform that we're talking about seems to be, I wouldn't say extreme, but non-tolerant in certain ways. That's what I find with a lot of the platforms, whether you're talking Muslim, whether you're talking on this side of the fence. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're going to have to really speak up, Jason, because you're very softly spoken, chap.
Sorry, guys. You're absolutely right. The problem is segregation within integration.
Yeah.
And that is what we've had since the 1950s within this country. We've had integration through migration, and different peoples come into this country, different cultures, different creeds, different colours, but being segregated. And that has become part of the problem. There is no other culture in this country to this day that is integrated so much apart from the Afro-Caribbean culture. Because it was a Christian culture. It was so much in tune with this culture or country before it even life. And it will be not by choice. And I will put that out there. I mean, if we're even going to go down the windwash, I mean, Jesus Christ, our country sought out the black population within the Jamaica and every other country, and they were sought out for the doctorates and the nurses and everything else. And that was Enoch Powell, by the way. The same man that wrote the Brothers of God, what they want to call it. But it was the same man that indoctrinated these people to come over to offer them a better standard in life. And they fucked them. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
Sorry, can I interrupt?
No.
Phil?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's everybody's sound is not good, so I'm just wondering if it's your end. Because apparently all of our sounds are not good at all. Because I've just been looking at the comments.
Okay. Well, there seems to be.
I have another emergency. There's actually a man running around my living room at this moment in time.
Let's blame that then. Unless it's just a bad connection or something, there's not a lot I can say. I'm actually on the internet connection, although I can't hear like a dirty noise.
Fine, Bill. There is a slight sort of, it's not completely clear, but I can hear everybody.
Maybe it's just you, Jason. And maybe it's because you're right up there in the Highlands for a start. You've got a dodgy accent, secondly. I mean, all I can say is that, you know, I'm a very patriotic girl.
Hugo, look at me. Look at me in the eyes, darling. One of these days.
Guys, what did I tell you? It's going to be a domestic on here tonight. I'm telling you. It's all right.
As a patriotic girl who's been through to the core, the shame of me dating a Scotsman. You have no idea what this has done to the family. Right?
I'm going to sit back here. I'm sitting back. I'm going to get my video camera out, start recording.
There was two things about that. See, the thing is, we did that video, and we followed it up with the 18 video, which again, I have to take full responsibility for the 18 video because I did set everybody off a little bit on that. But it was to show that the whole point of that 18 video wasn't just to show us all having a laugh and a giggle, even though you guys that did it, apart from Jason, none of you knew what I was doing because I hadn't told any of you. None of you knew what your roles were.
Yeah.
But it was to show that this diverse group, from a Sikh to a white guy with the most piercing blue eyes who is the only one in that video who looks cool. Right? So your Aryan princess.
Why has he got that role? Like, I'm on my knee.
No, why did he make it look so cool? You know, we did not have to put him in any kind of slow motion, did we, Jason?
I know.
Yes.
Exactly. You know? Jesus, I'm full of fucking.
The chaplain is just like the coolest of the cool. And like.
From my point of view, you know what it feels like eating about 20 mint Tic Tacs? Yeah? Because that's what happened. I had like a mint explosion at the back of my fucking mouth. I'm like, oh, this is going to look good on camera. So
don't worry, mate. It's whether you took it with some fizzy drink. Because that would have been funny as fuck with all the blue foam coming out. In the mouth with blue foam, you know what I mean? But the point of that video wasn't just to show that we had a sense of humour. It was to show that no matter what colour you are, colour was irrelevant. We worked as a team. We are a team. And our diversity is our strength, not our weakness. And the sooner that other people realise that diversity can be your strength and rather than your weakness. And if people knew, and maybe one day when Jason's got which will be lovely, is to actually for people to know where Jason's story came from and where he went to in his head and eventually ended up. Now, because he sounds not too brilliant at the minute, I don't know whether everybody would hear him. But the truth of it is, you and I both know, because obviously you know Jason. Obviously, I know him because I've slept with him a few times. So I know him a little bit better than most. And I know his story, I know his journey. And he is the true epitome of what real change can be. For the bad and for the good. And to do it a complete journey and come out of the other end and still have your faculties with your mind still intact. And that's what people don't realise is the journey they're taking, the route they're going down. It's a dangerous route. It's a dysfunctional route. And it's a route that leaves you with nothing but anger, hatred. You're looking for violence. You want violence. You plead, you're begging for it. And when you don't get it, the frustration builds and builds and builds and builds until there's nowhere left for it to go.
I mean, couple that with vilification, couple that with what we're talking about today, the fact that we done this video, you guys done the video, and exactly the same video on 2 separate channels, you could see the response in terms of it violated the hate speech policy on one channel. On the other channel, it didn't violate a thing.
Yeah, can I just say, it violated hate speech apparently on my channel, and I think it's because I'm being persecuted as an Aryan, right? That is what it is. I'm being persecuted for being a perfect Aryan bitch.
Your paleness is being used against you.
It is. I hang my head in shame.
Well, I mean, going back to Jason, if people can pick up what Jason's saying, from your perspective, mate, you done the video. It's all your work and brilliant production, by the way. I can only aspire to doing that kind of production work. So thank you very much. You've done a fucking fantastic job. But from your perspective, how do you feel knowing that that video, you can testify that it was exactly the same video, there was no editing that was different on mine as opposed to Tony's, there was no description discrepancies, it was literally copy and paste. So what do you make of it, knowing that you're the maker of the video, Jason, but yet Tony's had that response and I've had the old fucking clear?
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, when we put out the video, we put it out over both channels at the same time. There was no, we didn't edit everything, we didn't do anything, we just wanted to respond. And that, in truth, is what we did. We wanted a response, we wanted a guideline into how this video was going to react. Because in truth, it did cite out the National Front and it cited out the Muslim Defence League, so both extremities of the same extremism at the same time. And I wanted to see that. I wanted to guide them. And in truth, for the video to get, I think it was 2,000 views on your channel to 300 on Tony's. It did seem a bit strange, but it did. At the time we worked, I think we've got 20k subscribers. Tony's got 1k subscribers. But for within 5 days for Tony's to be taken offline, and we're still to be viewed, speaks a lot of how I suppose I hate using the word agenda. It's not agenda. It's just the way we've got to protect those of colour, those that are doomed minorities. That is the way of the world, and that is the way that it works over social media as well.
Which is why they targeted my video and not Phil's, because, and Phil said that. Phil actually said, I don't need protection.
Well, they can't attack Phil. You know, because Phil is a man of colour. And
I thought he was white.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now he's telling me.
But it's still, it begs the question, not everything that we're doing.
Well, all we seem to have done, I mean, it's the most Well, from a person of a mixed race heritage, guys, I'll tell you now, for them to have done that to anyone, what I say that they have done for me is curtail people getting information, because there was no alluding to any hate speech there. So what they were doing, they were stopping someone maybe of my colour actually accessing that information and being able to make their own mind up, as with anybody else, no matter what the colour. And then if anyone decides that they've got a problem with it, they can complain. I mean, that's the thing. Even though my YouTube is probably aligned to a certain message, but it does go across the board, and I do constantly say race is never an issue, and Tony does. The likes that I've got, as in the thumbs up, the thumbs down, it didn't warrant any hate speech, because it was still up. What it was actually doing was working in the favour to quell any more extremism happening on either side. So it's the opposite of fucking hate speech. It's love speech, telling everyone to chill the fuck out, basically.
An education.
Yeah. Just don't make any sense.
It was an education. It was a trip down memory lane to say, your yesterdays will be your todays if you don't stop and think about what you're doing. That was the message. That was the inherent message that I wanted to get across. Jason did the research, you did the research. I knew in my head what I wanted. I'm very good at ring Jason up going, I know what I want, I know how I want it, and we'll deliver it. Words to that effect anyway. It's like, no, I don't want it like, no, it has to, no, this is what I want. And he's like, I can't do it. I said, don't tell me there's no such word.
Don't, women.
That finger there. Don't tell me that.
No. I don't think no. Give me that no, boy. But to then find out that they emailed me and said, this violates our terms and conditions, and this is in violation of hatred. And I'm like, I just woke up in another fucking universe here, because I'm pretty sure that video promotes no hate speech. It promotes true diversity. It's telling people that actually we don't want to go back there, that this is where it will end up if we don't change. And we are the only people, us working class, are the only people who have the ability to change the direction and the course of history.
Yeah. We've got to set a path for our children, because this is going to be a multi-generational argument into this. Ain't going to be done with a single viral video or anything. The climate is too kind of toxic and volatile. It needs to be simmered down, because it's on the verge of really hitting off. So I don't see any video by any one individual, no matter how clever they are, working on that level. We've really got to break people's psyche back down to a level where people can actually want to talk again. There's so much hatred now, isn't there? You know, if you see someone with blue hair, you want to scream at him. If they see you, they want to call you this.
I'll be honest with you, look, I'm sorry, I'm making this edge. You've got blue hair, pink hair, I will scream at you. Right, for stupidity. Sorry, I can't do it, because unfortunately, but that goes to prove a point of a stereotype. My daughter has dyed her hair blue and pink and every colour you can imagine. And even though she's had the baby, I'm sure without doubt she'll dye her hair blue again. She's not some rabid feminist, but when you think of blue hair and pink hair, that's exactly what you think of. Yeah. It's some rabid little semi-fascist screaming, you don't have a womb, and Trump can't have my pussy, and I'm sitting over here, and I'm sure Trump don't want your pussy, love. Trust me on this. You can afford better. Well, so I don't get. It goes to show, though, that an image or an image of how you view somebody, and it was the same when Maria's held its event, and people knew there was going to be Muslim speakers, and only 200 people turned up, and that goes to prove that actually, unless you had a certain set of initials at the front of your march, nobody gives a shit. So when people say to me, the girls, well, actually, I'm actually hands-on. PAG is hands-on. Shouter Boys is hands-on. So where were you for PAG UK? Where were you for the Maria's March? Where were you for any of the girls who stood there and gave their voices? Because there was just two initials that weren't out the front there, that wasn't taking the lead. So is it one person you care about, or do these girls actually matter? I'm not quite sure which it is. That's from my perspective, because I've sat there and I've begged and I've pleaded with people to just be there, just turn up, listen to what people have got to say. And if they'd have met Rye Hill, most of the women that met Rye Hill that day all came away with the same thing. She spoke up for the girls being raped by Muslim men just as much as I did, with the same views as I have, and she made no apologies for it, as did her husband.
Well,
Where were they?
I'll be honest. I mean, I'll let Jason come in one sec. But for me, it was a shock on that day in London because of the speakers, because of what they represented, and because I felt that if these people that were speaking on there today had the same platform that we was been, attending over the past several months, I knew that would really make a change. It would help people to understand from another perception, which is a Muslim perception. But at the same time, you've still got someone within the Muslim community that is calling out what negative is in or within Islam. So to me, it ticks all the bases. It's just like if you feel that there's an issue within the black community, the one thing you don't do is ostracize the black community. You literally try and get the community back in to understand why. So it seems to me the perfect thing to do is sit down to then start talking to some rational Muslim individuals who share a common ground, where they still adhere to their faith and no one ever wants to change their faith from their position. But at the same time, if they can understand from where you're coming from, that's a fucking start. So, like you say, it's an insult when you hear that a Muslim individual who is prepared to do that, but then gets slapped with the Sakia tag. Sorry, Jason, you go for it, mate.
Loudly.
I totally agree. I mean the Takia stance it's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? I mean, you either want Muslims to believe in what you want them to believe, what you're fighting for, what our stance is, or you don't. Now, if you don't, then it becomes what I was talking about earlier. What we've got in the United Kingdom is a ununited kingdom. We have more segregation in this country than any other country on the face of this planet. We talk about multiculturalism. We talk about how we've got all these different cultures that are within one United Kingdom. But within that United Kingdom, we have all class segregation. That's the standard. That can be through the shelter. I'm going to say that can be through color. It can be through culture. It can be through the religious grounds. But what we have is a melting pot of segregation. And no one willing to take they're just looking to wake up to the fact that it's a statement before the only culture that has truly integrated into British society is the African Caribbean. One, because they were Christian of religious factions, and two, because they shared the same culture. No other culture has. And this is the problem that we're facing now. 2019. Jews, Sikhs, Hindus, Chinese, Malaysian, Asian, Japanese, the list goes on. There is no integration within this country. None. So what we have in the 21st century is we have a country split straight down the middle, housing 24 different cultures that do not coexist. They exist within one country. It's not rocket science. So the way to break this up, the way to build the fucking bridges is like what the video says. If you can't talk, it's human beings. There's only one humanity. Only one. If we can't start to fucking embrace each other as being humans, sorry for saying it.
Don't you worry about it, mate.
And being
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
one humanity, then what the fuck are we doing?
It's the,
Intelligent human beings, what the fuck are we doing?
it seems like a Twilight Zone experience that the polarization has literally stopped any form of common ground.
Yes.
And people have allowed it within themselves.
Yes.
You know, in fact, I'll be honest with you, if I stayed on this echo chamber, or the thing that was, I consider the echo chamber, for 5 years, listening to all the different shares and all the bits of information that's shared around, I would probably feel just as bad as them if I didn't have that element where I could pull myself back and still maintain that balance. It's hard to maintain that balance when you're right in the middle of the echo chamber, I feel. Tony, what do you think?
I think that's kind of when I came in and kicked you up the arse, Phil, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
It was all about that point.
Yeah, not that he was filling an ass-kicking message that I have or anything like that, Tony.
Although it has been said that I have fulfilled a fetish or two in my time. But, no jackboots, no Nazi coats. I am not putting on a long jacket and all the jackboots. It is not happening.
Baby, that's
Baby, nothing. Shush.
Yeah, honestly, what did I tell you guys? You're going to get more than you bargained for on this screen tonight. I'm telling you.
But the beauty of it is, take that, like, for example, the 18 video. How many people came on and went, can I join? Can I join?
Yeah.
Actually, yes, you can. You can all join an 18 if you can toe the fucking line with the 18. Because you know what? The 18 is very diverse. We're a diverse bunch of people that are all capable of thinking differently, agreeing to disagree, coming together on what we do agree on, working together on what we agree on, working towards what we aim to achieve. And not judging anybody, whether they be a Muslim, a Jew, a Hindu, a Sikh, a Chinese, a Japanese, we don't care. We judge nobody. We listen to everybody. We judge each person on their merit. An extremist is an extremist, but that doesn't mean to say that there aren't good, decent people in every walk of those communities, and there are bad in every walk of those communities. We have seen a problem where at this moment in time, the only people blowing up children in an arena is Islamic extremists. It's not Jews. And yet I am seeing a rise in not just what people go, I'm not anti-Jew, I'm just an anti-Zionist. We all know that the word Zionist now is just it's a hidden word, right, to hide the fact that most people just don't like Jews. Now that doesn't mean some people don't literally mean the word Zionism, but if they bothered to pick up a dictionary and open it at the word Zionist, the word Zionist literally means that you believe that Israel has a right to exist. That is all it means. It doesn't mean anything else. So if that's the case, we're all fucking Zionists because most of us believe that Israel has a right to exist.
As with any country, I don't think I can think of one country where I go, come on, we need to take it off the map. Get the fucking bulldozer from Semtex and blow it right off. I want to see.
We're going to name it Little England.
Oh, we've gone through. That's called colonialism. We'll go there.
It's called a Little England. There are multiple countries.
One point you brought up there, which is very key, with the polarization now, with the facts of the anti-Semitism, with the kind of overt racism, with the overt anti-Muslim stance, as well as the Muslim anti-white stance with the kufr and everything else, as well as black people calling white people crackers, with all that shit floating around. You know what I feel now, and we were talking about it before, that I feel that there's a hell of a lot of people within this movement that don't want to have anything to do with any of that. But for some reason, they feel so trapped within a lot of it now, because now they're working out that certain leaders that they're following or certain members within that group are representative of that. And it's almost like they're going, oh, I don't want to be involved in that. But then they try to turn to go to another route, and they don't have the same reactions. So they're literally stuck in this little...
We have a centre ground. We do. There is a centre ground where people are centre left, centre right, centre humanitarian, centre vegan, whatever.
What do you think they're going through now, Tony? What do you think they're going through now?
I think that
they're on all sides are loving this, because they're loving coming out with all kinds of shit. They're loving attacking people. What's going through the mind of the average person that wants to follow a movement for?
I think they feel lost and voiceless. If truth be known, they're voiceless. They haven't got a voice. That's why we exist. That's why Maria's and all the other, and the idea that I've got that we're all working towards, and we all know what that is, that group will represent the centre group. And it will not care, regardless of faith, creed, or colour. It will be colourblind, in as much as, like I said to you, do I know that, just in case you weren't aware of this, but I ought to let you know, like, you're a black dude. I'm not sure if you know this, I'm not sure if you looked in the mirror lately, but you have to have black skin. All right, now, that said, I can acknowledge your black skin, and you can be very proud of your black skin. We then got over to the other side, when you go to real north of the border, where you've got somebody sitting there with skin like cold porridge in Scotland, right? Where you don't get much whiter than this dude. Jason, in case you're not aware, that's you. You've got very white skin, love.
Yeah, I did acknowledge that point.
And no hair. Mind you, you've got no hair. You could both fit in with the strap. I know, has nobody told you you're bald?
No.
Shit. Sorry about that.
You're bald and you're black, and I'm bald and I'm white.
Fuck's sake!
You're brothers.
You know what I mean? We've got to
You're brothers with a brush.
Yeah.
Well,
Another brush.
she does not get to say brother of the bush.
I get to say whatever I want.
You bloody well don't.
Your brother just did.
Off the brush was over an apprenticeship.
I said you two were brother of the brush. I can say that word.
So,
And then, Michael, you can do about it.
back on topic, Hugo.
Well, you two. So my point being is, it doesn't matter whether you're white, brown, black, Sikh, Hindu. We proved that not only is our strength in our diversity, one of our biggest strengths that people have lost is the ability to laugh at them. That's what the 18 video is mostly about, is a little injection of humour, because our sense of humour has gone. We need to be able to laugh with each other at the same time and mock each other, take the piss out of each other. It really doesn't matter, because that's the elixir of life. Sorry?
Can I interject?
You can, but you're going to have to say it really loudly because you sound...
Interject, women!
Perfect! Yes, you can interject loudly with that thing.
Jesus.
What have I fucking done here inviting these two on, guys? I'm just going to say that. Carry on, Jason.
In essence, Not in My Country video was compiled and brought about by 80, by 5 or 6 completely different diverse people. And to add a video together personally, that put the video together for a reason. Because if we can't see on the fringes of society extremism within every country, within every part of the system, then it's what we took the Nazis and we took militarism. We took the Third Reich and we took the Ottoman Empire and we brought it to fruition. We brought it to modern day times. Modern day times, we have the Muslim defensive on one side and we have the National Front on the other. Now, as I tried to state before, I grew up in the 70s. I remember the National Front. I remember growing up in Scotland, seeing certain emblems of certain people's shops, different graffitis and everything else that went on. The whole video is a learning curve, and by the way,
you bring up a good point, Jason. Sorry to interject there, but it's the other demographic finding it easy to dehumanize. Once a demographic's dehumanized, and I've seen this with people the way they talk about Muslims, as well as black people. Even good friends, I've seen people send me screenshots of things that they've said that's derogatory because they found it easy to dehumanize that demographic because they're not happy with the current climate. But without balance, what have you got? You know, because that is a flip. When you talk about anyone dehumanizing someone, that person who's dehumanized can quite easily dehumanize you as well. So then if you're both in that sport, what are you doing? It's a game of tennis where you're literally having a rally and no one's actually achieving anything. No one's getting the winning point in a sense. So what I'm trying to say is that I guess just we've got to stop kind of winding ourselves up about the negative element within a small percentage within any of the demographics. You know what I mean? And take out the bad bits of what, you know, black people may feel white people do, or vice versa. You know, it's ridiculous.
And that's
yes. Yeah.
The positive, because to tell the truth, and I'm going to lay it out for everybody. When you look at the movements, can I hold it for a second, darling?
No, can you do it loudly? Purely because I can still see people going, I can't hear what he's saying.
Well, sorry, I'm trying to get as close.
Well, you can keep it at that,
Jason, I've got to say something here. I'm going to play back this stream to see if these comments are actually there, because I've got a feeling the comments may not be there, but the beauty is using it to give you a bit of a long distance.
I think so. I think so. I think
that's what you think, is it? I'm just going to show you something here.
Be racist. Be racist.
Yeah.
You know, comments on the video.
Can't see shit, woman.
Exactly.
That's why you date me, you know.
What?
You date me because you've got no eyesight. I look good when you're blind.
I'm dating you because I love you, though. Because I respect you.
Did I tell you guys that you're going to get your money's worth on this stream? Give it another half an hour, and I swear to God, the condoms are coming out.
Condoms? What for?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
You get the condom route. All I can see is, where's your mind at, dirty Phil?
I've no idea. I'm still thinking about my ass kicking fetish. I think.
Can we get back on track?
No, I think we can do. Right, so let's go back to the violation. You've had a community strike for this, Tony. But a video that's really, it's more of a prophecy warning. Just kind of, let's not go back to where things...
I've had a full strike and they removed the video.
They've removed the video. Right.
Yeah, they took the video down. And I was like, if you'd have asked me nicely, I might have considered taking it down myself. But now, you've given me until, I think, October. And I'm like, well, it's going to I have appealed it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to take them until October to decide that it's not that bad. But whether they do or not, I am going to put it back on.
Well, that's a tactic they do anyway, to kind of kill any circulation of it. So if it comes out months later, you know, it's almost kind of who needs to worry about it now. It's gone.
Yeah, but you know what? When I slam it up on my Facebook or other places, and I go, "This is the one that they wanted. They took this down, they removed it." I'll tell you what. Watch the views go up. The last time I did this to a video of mine,
I agree, because
we had 28,000 views.
Well, with anything like this, Tony, don't you feel that when they curtail and you can see it's overtly kind of unjust, then you get a bit of a Streisand effect that comes from it? Now, me doing that video talking about it, I actually thought to myself, well, am I actually alerting the algorithms that they've forgot me? So by me re-uploading and talking about your plight, is the algorithm going to go, oh, fucking hell, we forgot Red Pill Phil, right, let's clamp on him. But they didn't. They let me do it again.
It has nothing to do with algorithms.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Because people actually said within the comment, and I don't know why, it's like they must have watched the video, and I've done that video talking about your plight. I literally shown the whole video again, bar like 1 minute scene, and you guys will confirm that. So you got it all again within that video, and I made a point of doing that. Now, I thought to myself, well, that's giving them the opportunity. That is showing again. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's giving us an opportunity to show that video again, literally talking like we're doing now. It's given us another 2, maybe 3 opportunities to show that video and to talk about it.
Let me ask you an honest question here.
Yes.
Why do you think they targeted the video on my channel and not yours? What did you say to me?
Because you're the wrong insult, and I've always felt it from the moment that you.
What did you actually say to it?
Pardon?
No. Now tell the truth and shame the devil. What was it you said?
Well, you're gonna have to enlighten me, because I don't know whether I can't remember or whether I've had a purposeful mental block. What did I actually say?
You said that's my minority card.
Ah, yes. Well, this is where it goes.
Well, I was thinking.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Of doing
it to like a get out of jail free card, if I remember rightly, didn't I? And I said,
so if that's your minority card, we could do like with the 18. Instead of having the minority report, we could do a video based on the minority card.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we could get somebody who's gay, somebody like they're lesbian, somebody who's gay, somebody who's trans, somebody who's black, somebody who's white, somebody who's Sikh, and we'll all get them to play the minority card, but we'll just have me sit them in and go, I haven't got one. I don't have one.
Brilliant. That would be brilliant if you could film, say, like walking down the street, and then film 2 different people, i.e. me and then you, doing exactly the same indiscrepancy to own individual, and then when they come and go, excuse me, I throw down my minority card and walk away because there's nothing they can do for me, and then at the same time you have
I come, I try and I go, no, and I go, well, you let him through. I've got the race card. So then you come back, you see, and you come back and you go back and you go, you let somebody else go through, and they have a lesbian card. And they go through, and I can't go, and they go, no, she's got the lesbian card.
Yeah.
We could do that. I mean, honestly, that with Jason.
You know what would be brilliant? I mean, we shouldn't really talk about these ideas, but you know, like when you go in the tube, and then you've got to place your card on that machine, and it beeps, and then the gates open. That could be it. Because every time you go up, it don't work. It just don't work. I'll come straight after you. An Indian guy comes straight after you, and then everyone beep, beep, beep opens. Not with Tony, not with Tony.
And I'll just stand there, what is wrong with me? You'll all go, you're white, you're female, you're straight.
And then you could come back 10 minutes later in a black suit, as in with an afro, and then literally beep straight through. That's just showing how ridiculous that
Well,
this
listen, if we do that and you fuck my face up and I get arrested for racism, it's your doing. I'm just telling
you. Because you know what I'd do? I'd play my race card again and I'm out of there.
I think, Jason, I think we just had an idea for a video, babe.
I think repair you're nuts, but
it would work.
I do see the sentiment, and it is the exact same as not in my country. It is what's going on at the moment. Everything is marginalised, pigeonholed. It's gotten to the point now where we can't actually have a civilised conversation as a human with each other without offending. And I know you'll find that hard, darling, but oh my God! But it has come to the point where I want the 80 and every other organisation out there just take a second, actually have a little bit of conversation, a little bit of understanding. You know, my story will come out soon enough. I'm actually going to do a video on me to let a lot of you understand where I'm coming from.
Well, it's hard for people to understand because they don't actually know. But what I would say to confirm what you're saying, mate, if your journey could be shown to people, it would give anyone, whether they're white or black, a wake-up call, as if to say, if this man can do it, knowing where this man has been on his journey from there, A to B, from one spectrum to the next, then there's got to be hope for every one of us. And there's got to be that element where the rationale, the slowing down, before you react, before you make your assumptions about anyone, you know. And I say it again, I certainly commend the journey you've had, mate. Just like any of us, we've all had certain journeys where, you know, you don't have an element of prejudice that may be confronted against you. And it's how you deal with that level of prejudice, whether you decide to hit back with that prejudice again, or whether you be the bigger and better person overall. And it's not easy. It's not easy when everything's so polarized the way it is. So to have mature individuals who can have balance and not just react, no matter what colour of their skin, you know, as in the 80s. This is why I love this group of people, because for us, colour is no more of an issue as to what fucking waist size we are. We love each other for who we are, what brains we've got, and we bounce off each other to the point where people can see the kind of interactions we have, the fact that we break down the colour divide as well. So we'll take the piss on certain levels because of our colour, because of our skin tone, because of our hair, all that of it. You know, we're not a group of triggerers. That's what really. Well, I wish we all could be that lucky, but no, that's good.
Listen, right? So you got Jason up there. Jason's got the smooth, sexy accent. You just want I've got the plan, and you forgot to be having a fucking hair. Seriously? I mean, he's got. None of you can really hear it, but trust me, he has got a voice that's like a hot knife through butter, ladies. Trust me, right? So, and he's also got the cheeky smile, right?
Funny, Jason, because you never have that effect on me. I never think that when you speak to me.
That's right, Phil.
Mate, hot knife through butter. It's like a saw through fucking paper. That's what it's like.
And he's got that lovely Edinburgh brogue, which I'm really glad he's got because he's been Glaswegian. Oh. I mean, it's bad enough that he's Scottish without him being a Glaswegian. Scottish group, mate. You know what I mean? See, I'm not racist. I'm nationalist.
Oh, jeez. Well, listen, guys, we've got 4 minutes left. So, is there anything you want to kind of say to wrap it up before I then ask for your details if people want to get in touch.
I'd love to. I'd love to. I would say that Not in My Country was the start of something, and it definitely was the start of something for this group, for the A-Team, for Phil, Gunnar, myself, Tony Beagle, and others, Alan, the chaplain. It was the start of something. This new video is coming out. It's gonna go mental because no hold out there. There's no hold back. I will not be silenced for speaking the truth, and neither should anybody. This is 2019. And silence creates victims. We're no victims. Be prepared.
You know what? For a virgin, he's pretty good, isn't he? Really.
Honestly, I told him he had nothing to worry about.
Oh, was there worried? No, I was there worried.
The only thing he had to worry about was the bugle. That's it. That's it.
Thanks, Phil.
Can I say?
Had to be said, Jason. It had to be said.
Can I add to, before everybody goes, and I always have fun when I'm on live feeds with Phil anyway. I don't quite know why, because he actually gets on my nerves. That's not true. I love the man to pieces, and that's something else that not just the small group of people that I've put together, that I've got working on different little things, but it's not just that group. There's a lot of love out there, and hopefully when Jason gets his stuff, I'm going to get him to get himself a set of headphones to plug in for the next one so that you can actually hear him. Because I would love for people to actually not just read, but to know Jason's journey. Because if they knew it, they would realise there is, it doesn't have to be a bleak ending. There is light at the end of every single tunnel. And people talk in this country like we've come to the end of the tunnel and we've run out of fucking light. We haven't. It's there. We're just looking down the wrong fucking hole.
Well, that's mindset, isn't it? You know, it doesn't mean to say that's the only option, like you say. Anyone can change the mindset. That's almost saying, well, I'm an alcoholic, so there's no prospects of me ever giving up booze. Of course it is. It's up to you what you want to do. It's not controlling you.
Who is an alcoholic?
Well, sorry.
Can I just say as well, I've done really well because I'm sitting here, I've got a stinking headache. I think I might have a touch of flu. I feel as lousy as anything.
Who's flu? Women.
You are?
Who's flu?
Flu? He called round earlier and I said Lou. But, Phil, next time, I want you to put your light on because I'm not being funny, mate, you've got dark skin. Right? Kind of blended into the back of that sofa now, mate.
You know what, Soler? I was thinking about this before. I'm actually going on holiday with the family. I'm going on a holiday with the family in a week's time, right? And I'm going to quite a warm destination. And I'm almost dreading doing a video when I get back because I'm going to be 30 shades darker. And I don't know whether people are going to be ready for it. I'm going to come back full.
You're going to get a light that literally, or just give us one of your biggest smiles right now, right, Phil? Say, yes, that's it. Now I can see you.
Mate, fucking don't. Why do you buy it for shit?
It's like my glove in the top. Running.
Fucking moving your mouth.
Jason, have you only just noticed that?
Yes, mate.
Mate, you need a race car to play to get the fuck out there, seriously.
Well, soon he'll be able to come to England and say he's a minority, can't he?
He is a minority.
Really? Scotsman in England without hating it. That's a fucking minority.
Right, guys, that's the minute up now. So the hour up rather. how can anyone get in touch with you, Tony, or your various forums that you're still on, that you've not been banned on, by the way?
Okay, Twitter, just type in Tony Bugle or at DICS131294. You can find me on Facebook. There's 2 accounts because I'm constantly on a ban on my main one. So one is Tony Bugle, the other is Tony Matri in brackets Bugle. You can email me at marias.org.uk. If you go onto there, there's a website. If you go onto the website, there's an email, so you can email me direct from there, and that will come straight to me. You can inbox me on Twitter, you can inbox me on Facebook. And if you need to get hold of us, and if you need the 18, and if you can find us.
What about you, Jason? Would you any details? Is there anything you want to say? Any last words, whatever?
Just get me through Google.
Right, so we need to crowdfund to get a helicopter to airlift Jason the fuck out of there. Now.
Yes.
You put me on no plane, fool.
Yeah,
Being fool.
so if anything, if I'm going to put my last words on it, then I think there's a majority within the movement that are aching for that common ground to be exposed within all sides. And we're trying to get to that. That's all we're doing here. We're not trying to do it at the detriment of anyone else. We realise the climate that we're in, and we're trying to create a climate that is more placid, more welcoming to all different demographics to create that bread-breaking scenario.
Yep.
That's it. So, yeah.
Perfect. Perfectly said.
Okay, guys. So with that, I'm going to say adios. I'd like to say thank you to Jason. Next time, mate, definitely we'll get some kind of sound issues sorted out. That's no problem. You've done a brilliant job anyway for your first Virgin experience. I hope you're not sore in the morning. Let's put it that way.
I'll tell you what, it was still better quality than Sleazy Jet, so don't worry. Don't worry, mate. I got your back.
It's been a pleasure to have this stream. I'd like to thank Tony as well, obviously, from Maria's. Follow what Maria's is doing. She's on YouTube, on Facebook as well. I'd like to thank everyone who's jumped in on the stream. Obviously, it's an impromptu stream, and I hope you took something from this. I hope we've been able to explain exactly what our forward projection, our mindset, our ethos is all about. If you don't like, you don't like. There's always an unsubscribe button. But, you know, at the moment, I do feel that the movement itself is in a bit of a quagmire and it needs a bit of a refresh. So we're just trying to provide that. So with that, guys, I'm just going to say thanks a lot. I love you all. Even
the pissing haters.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, guys. Absolute stars. You have a rest of a brilliant weekend, what's left of it, and I'll see you soon.
All right, darling. Take care. Bye.
Guys, see you now.